Yo, what's going on, guys? And today I wanted to talk about some news that we've heard before. It's being further, I guess the message is being furthered by Marc Stein of the Stein line. We all know the Mavericks are going to re-sign Markieff Morris at some point. They're still deciding about signing another guard. They have 14 guaranteed contracts on the roster. But right now, they're trying to decide if they're going to bring back Spencer Dinwiddie or Dennis Smith Jr., or even bring in a guy like Talen Horton-Tucker. Personally, I've said all offseason bringing in Spencer Dinwiddie and Dennis Smith Jr. would be awesome. You get a defensive guard while you also get, as a potential sixth man, in Spencer Dinwiddie, who was on the team when they went to the Western Conference Finals 2 years ago. And he'd probably be a guy who they bring on the veteran minimum. They also could bring back, I believe, at this point, as I said earlier, Dennis Smith Jr. is the type of defensive guy you really want on your squad, and he's really become one of the better perimeter defenders in the league. While we know Reggie Bullock is still out there, I know they haven't really been tied to them, but he's always someone that they can bring back. I personally think they're focusing in on bringing in a guard. Talen Horton-Tucker is more of the swingman. Spencer Dinwiddie could play the 1, the 2. He's 6'6", but I really do believe when you look at this situation that it's in their best interest to probably go after Spencer Dinwiddie because they know how he fits. They need a six-man. They don't really have that shot creation off the bench. If they're looking for the defense, Dennis Smith is also available there, but we know they want to bring in the vet himself, Mr. Markieff Morris. I think it's definitely interesting to see how this all plays out just because who's going to be available. But I want to hear your guys' thoughts in the comment section. What do you guys expect from the Dallas Mavericks and who they're going to go after? As look, we know this free agency period is definitely an interesting one, and I like the idea of Talen Horton-Tucker and everything, but I don't know. I do believe that if they go after somebody, the problem with Talen Horton-Tucker is he just hasn't been an impactful player since that one stretch with the Lakers, and I feel like when you look at Talen Horton-Tucker, he's a guy that you just hope that he's going to do what he did his second season. Like it was his second season when he played 20 minutes a night, or even during the playoffs. He's 23 years old. That's the one benefit. He's got a huge wingspan. He did put up 20 points last year and this year, or the 2 seasons with the Jazz. He put up 40% from the field and about 30% from 3. So I know some people are going to be like, well, he can play the 2 or the 3. I think they really just need some shot creation off the bench. They need somebody to help them out there. And especially when you look at, and I also know Talen Horton-Tucker last year, post All-Star break, in 19 games for the Utah Jazz, averaged 43% from the field, 32% from 3, 6 assists, 5 rebounds, and 18 points a night for the Utah Jazz when he was playing point guard for them. So some might say maybe they could, tap into Mr. himself, but I do think that is another tall task to hope for, as the current situation, in my opinion, with the Dallas Mavericks is they want perimeter defense while also having someone who could be a six-man for them, and I think that's the biggest thing in their eyes. And yeah, so let me just hear your guys' thoughts in the comment section. What do you guys think about this? That's basically all I'm going to hear, and the rest of the video is going to be what we reported on earlier.
So a new regime means old faces. I guess Spencer Dinwiddie came under Nico Harrison, but Dennis Smith Jr. was a Donnie Nelson guy. And the report from my coworker at hoopshype.com, link in the description if you guys want to read more. Hit that like and subscribe button and comment down below. Who do you want to come back to Dallas? To Spencer Dinwiddie or Dennis Smith Jr.? Personally, I would love Dennis Smith Jr. That would just be the best arc. But some people would be like, well, you already have Dennis Smith Jr. and Dante Exum. And I'd go, okay, I get what you're saying. But the idea is, because right now they don't have a backup point guard. If they could bring in both guys, that would be sick. Right now, the team is Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving, Klay Thompson, PJ Washington, and Daniel Gafford would be the starting lineup, or Derek Lively would start and then Daniel off the bench. And then Maxi Kleber, Najee Marshall, Quentin Grimes, and Jaden Hardy are right now your bench, with Dante Exum, Omax, and Dwight Powell and AJ Lawson making out the guys who are on actual deals. We assume Melvin Ajinça is probably going to be on a two-way with Alex Fudge. So with that being said, they have 14 dudes on deals, even though AJ Lawson's a non-guaranteed. So they could bring in both Spencer Dinwiddie and Dennis Smith Jr., who would Jaden Hardy and Dante Exum are more. Jaden Hardy's more of a shooting guard, okay, like a 6-man. That's the hope with him. Quentin Grimes more of a 2-3 guy, not really a facilitator. Dante Exum, same thing. Yeah, so they don't really have a pure backup point guard. So Spencer Dinwiddie would also help if Jaden Hardy isn't ready to be the 6-man and take that Tim Hardaway Jr. role. Spencer Dinwiddie could help out there because they don't have a pure scorer off the bench. So, look, I know Dinwiddie had an abysmal shooting year this year, but let's bring him back. He plays with a chip on his shoulder. He can play make. He has a knack of finding a way to the rim, and he's got size. He's like 6'6", bro. He can get open. He's tough to defend. He gets hot and he can be clutch. So I say cut at AJ Lawson as much as I like him. Cut him. If you really like him, bring him back on a 2-way if he still can. He might have hit his 3rd year of service already. And I think he's someone you have there because he can play shooting guard or point guard even. You can run a Luka Kyrie, Spencer Dinwiddie lineup with, Kleba and Gafford if you wanted, or PJ Washington and Lively. And then you bring in Smith, who can be the defensive, more of like actual point guard, even though he averaged, only like 4 assists, but 6 points. He's a guy who's a lead guard with really good athleticism. He's got really good length. He's good in transition. He's strong as hell. He loves to cut, get easy buckets, plays off ball really well, does a good job of involving his teammates. And yeah, his jumper's a little iffy, but Smith is one of the best perimeter defenders at the guard position. And I think if they can bring in both guys on like minimum deals, oh my God, do it. Do it. Getting rid of AJ Lawson's worth it, in my opinion. But yeah, I just don't see where. I just see he's perfect for Spencer Dinwiddie at this point. He's not going back to LA. I think for Spencer, the best success you've had recently was in Dallas. Let's go back there. It's the same team, or same, like obviously coaching staff and primarily the same team. Works out there. Obviously Kyrie's there now, but he was there when they went in that Western Conference Finals run. And then you bring back Dennis Smith Jr. as the defensive, and he actually gives you a point guard. So you have 2 guys behind there. And then the guys right now you have in line who to be your backup point guards, and Jaden Harden and Dante Exum, who aren't actual point guards, go back to being actual, guards and stuff. So that's just my opinion on that one. It just makes the most sense because, like, what you go on. If you have right there, and both of those guys should be taking minimum deals. I can't see them making like anything that would take up the mid-level exception. By the way, if you take minimum deal, it doesn't count against the salary cap, as like it's a minimum deal. So you want as many minimum deals as possible because they don't eat up the salary cap.